calls in this game. Just a couple of must-have-it throws from Ty Simpson, not necessarily from him, but just for the team to be able to go get the win, and he did that. And just ended up being a huge win. I think this is like back-to-back wins now for Alabama that probably not going to get enough credit for, honestly. And I believe that. I think people look at this and say, well, it's Alabama, it was Missouri. You're supposed to win this game, but it's just a really good Missouri football team. They gave Alabama some problems in a lot of different ways, but they kept finding ways to battle back, kept finding ways to really and truly the most impressive part, maybe offset Ahmad Hardy in that Missouri offense, and they get the win 27-24 to get to 5-1.
Yeah, I thought Ty had a very nice game. Didn't really allow a ton of big plays, but was very decisive. Some critical third down and fourth down throws. Like that's been probably his best attribute since the Georgia game is just how good he's been in third and fourth down and how he's played in third and fourth down. I mean, if you're really charting like negatives on the play, like I don't feel like he had a lot of missed throws, misreads. Like there was one sack he took early in the game, first half, going left to right. That was fringe field goal range. He ended up making the 46-yarder, so that would have been a negative. He got stepped on at the goal line. That would have been a negative. But, like, gosh, he just doesn't have a lot of negative plays. It's very impressive. And the level of difficulty on the double post touchdown to Isaiah Horton, massive. The level of pressure that Missouri got a couple times. I did not think Jam Miller had a great day in protection. That was disappointing. But
well, right tackle had a day. I mean, it was
yeah,
rough.
there were a couple times he was in good position too. I was like, I don't understand what the heck happened. Like the one around the right side, I think it was a back-to-back sack. They ended up having to punt, and they helped him out with the tight end, and he was in a great spot, and all of a sudden he like just missed. That one was a hard one to wrap your head around. So right tackle struggled in pass pro, but guess what? They have very good edge rushers. Like these are two of the better edge rushers that you'll see for a while. So I thought it was very impressive. I think we now can get to the point where we know what our starting lineup looks like in the back end if you're a Tide fan. Defensively, you have a guy now that's going to be in there, and Dijon Lee that you feel pretty confident in. Had a couple plays, did have the dropped interception early, but you feel confident in him long term as your starter opposite opposite Xavier Brown. I think there's things that came from this game that you feel real good about. The one issue is the injury to Jam Miller, and while he struggled in protection, it was not good. I thought Jam Miller had his worst protection day probably ever that I can recall, because I don't recall ever him being not good in protection. Other than that, getting him back is very, very important for this upcoming week. His decisiveness, how he will pick up those dirty runs and make you wrong with how he sets up blocks and things like that. He's a great back. So need him to be healthy going into this game this weekend.
So Alabama gets that win against Mizzou, which is you go there, and obviously Mizzou has a lot on the line. Their fans pumped, their fans excited about it, and you're able to get that W. Defensively, I spoke of maybe how much more impressive it was on that side of the football. Purbuella goes 16 to 28, 167, 2 interceptions, but they run for 163, and that's 12 carries for 52 yards for Ahmad Hardy. He has been dominant this year. He's been the best running back in college football for the majority of this season, and Alabama kept him in check, and that's with some questionable tackling on the perimeter at times for a couple defenders. This is a great job up front. We wondered who was going to set the edges, and you got a couple of different guys I thought that stepped up outside that did some really good things to either, spike those runs or spill those runs or force Ahmad Hardy to sort of be off track a little bit. Yanze Pierre did some nice things out on the edge.
He had some close calls too. Like he was very close on 2 or 3 more where he could have really had a game. Like I thought Yanze Pierre, I think he's coming on. Like he's very close to putting it all together, I feel like.
Yeah, LT Overton was out there a little bit. He got a good push to kind of force some things to not go the way Missouri wanted to. I thought also Keon Keeley did a couple of good things, kind of out on the edge. It was you had to win there because if you didn't, it was going to allow Missouri just the ability to get everything. It was going to unlock the offense, and once they do that, you're in trouble. What did you see from Bo Prabula and Missouri's sort of inability to push the ball down the field? Because there are folks that are going to say, well, that's just not who he is. I felt like there were some opportunities there. A couple weren't taken, and a couple were missed. What did you see from a quarterback perspective as to sort of why he couldn't connect down the field more?
There were a couple that were bad. Like, for example, I want to say it was the second, third down in the game. They went with a little out and up. They were moving left to right, out and up by the guy on the bottom of the screen. And, I mean, he's wide open. Like, I mean, Dijon Lee's eyes were kind of in the backfield. I don't know if he busted or what, but, I mean, he's wide open. And Prabula rolls right and throws it 6 yards out of bounds. It's like, what the heck was that? It's like, I don't even know how you miss a throw that bad as a Division I quarterback. So I think that, yes, there were some plays left on the field. I'd probably say there were 3 or 4 big plays left out there. I also feel like in the run game, Mizzou had Ahmad Hardy and Robert stayed a little bit more true to their path. There were some more yardage there. I thought Bama did a great job setting the edge, but I felt like there were 2 or 3 runs in which they cut it back just a touch too soon. If they would have pressed the hole a little longer, there might have been some there. I do want to tip my cap to Nakai Hill-Green, number 41. He's really, I think he's doing a lot of nice things, and he plays like a veteran, man. Like, he doesn't make a ton of plays, but he plays like a veteran. Like, he knows how the big picture is supposed to fit together. And it's been pretty impressive to see how he's kind of operated so far. So I think Mizzou left some plays on the field. They're probably kicking themselves. But then again, they also got away with a few things as well. Like, they really – I don't feel like they were able to manufacture a whole lot after that first drive. I don't know if you see it that way as well.
No, the first drive looked like they were going to be able to. I mean, it looked like they were just going to be up and down the field. I thought it was excellent play calling. You get Norfleet involved early. He had a nice reach block on that first outside zone that went for him, and you're just sitting there thinking, all right, man, they got the stretch going. They're involving the tight end. They moved the pocket once or twice, and it was just kind of exactly where it felt like it needed to go and how you wanted to start it, but it did become a little bit more tough sledding after that. There wasn't a lot of rhythm, and I think the main reason is that the stretch play just didn't go, and there wasn't the ability to build off of that and continue to sort of have that be what was going to be your go-to offense for the majority of the day. You give the Alabama defense a lot of credit for that, and I thought they did an excellent job. It was going to be a tough task, and they were able to stand up to it. So it was just
well.
And
the other thing
nice
about Bama's deep, like back to like it's easy for us to say, okay, it was close. Like Mizzou had a couple moments that were left on the field. Same can be said for Alabama. Mizzou has a fumble in their own territory. Like Prabula puts it on the deck, and magically it bounces back to a Missouri player. That could have been at least 3. Bama misses a field goal. Bama had a dropped interception by Dijon Lee earlier in the game. Like it was one of those where there were plays left on the field on both sides. And I think the right team won. I think the right team probably could have won by a little bit more had they played a slightly cleaner game. But then again, they also were pretty opportunistic in converting on critical down and distance too. So I think you can look at this, and this for Bama, if I'm looking at it from a perspective of a Bama fan, take it and run. This was a tough game. This is a good team. This required discipline, and this also required discipline. It also required a level of maturity that last year's team, no chance they win that game. Just being honest, there's just no chance. Like this year's team is far more mature with much better leadership, with authentic leadership, and I think they go and get this game done. And it could have been probably worse if you're looking at it too. So that I think is encouraging.
It's a nice win. It really was in a lot of different ways. We'll spend more time on it, talk more about it. As the show continues, get to your calls, 800-239-9569. First, Craig, tell our listeners about ProLift.
ProLift doors is the website. Go and check it out right now, proliftdoors.com. They've been doing a great job in this community for a while. There's a reason why they have so many 5-star Google reviews. Just go and Google ProLift Doors. You'll see what I'm talking about. They can upgrade your current garage door. If you're having unusual noises, slow response times, vibration shaking, you can call for a maintenance service. The beauty is you don't have fees for the service call itself. You only pay for the work, not for the visit. So if you're experiencing any issues with your garage door here in the greater Birmingham area, or if you're down there in Baldwin County, we have an option for you to get it fixed by going to proliftdoors.com. That's proliftdoors.com. ProLift Garage Doors, lifting your expectations.
All right, more on Alabama's win against Mizzou. We will spend more time on that. Got to get to Auburn, Georgia as well. We'll discuss it all next right here on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Kublik in the morning. Glad you're with us. It is 7:49 Monday, October 13th, right here on Jocks. We haven't really gotten into Auburn, Georgia just yet. We'll begin that conversation now. Before we do, G-Mac, tell our listeners about Shannara Flooring.
Well, Foo's done it again. He continues to stockpile a ridiculous amount of inventory. He now has 50,000 square feet of premium Core-Tech flooring in stock at Shannara Flooring. At every plank from that Core-Tech comes with a 20 mil wear layer, so it's built to last and priced to move. There's no one in town that has the Core-Tech that Foo has. And with savings of 20 to 40%, it's a deal you can't touch. So remember Shannara Flooring. When you want Core-Tech, call who? Call Foo. Call them today at 205-518-6423, or you can go online at fooandyou.com.
All right. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even really know exactly where to go with this because I know what people want to talk about, and it's usually not what you and I try to spend a lot of time on and focus on. Uh, People are going to want to talk about officiating. Um, I'll preface it with this: no game comes down to one play. No game comes down to one call. Have the calls gone against Auburn the last couple of games? Absolutely, they have. Number one, don't drop the football. Number two, find different ways to generate offense. Get more than one first down and a half. Get more than 40 yards in a half of football. Find different guys to make plays. When a defense adjusts to a 3 down to a 4 down, so all your counter stuff and your pullers and your perimeter run game is not going to work the same because they're crashing the mesh a different way and they're playing you a little bit more straight up outside. You have to adjust to be able to find ways to move the football. Your defense playing good ball, but to me, this is a bigger problem than this individual game. You people are buying into the excuse making. It's inherently there, and it is a desired piece of what's happening, and you're allowing it to continue. I'm not going to allow it to continue because there's too many other things going wrong than to sit there and focus on a call or two that people view as having gone against you. So it's not why you lost the football game. You lost football games because you made mistakes at the end of the day. Now, you want to talk about what Kirby was doing? Cool, we can talk about it. He called a timeout. Should have been charged one. I'm not going to debate it. I'm not going to argue it. Don't know what you want us to do about it.
Did it make a difference?
That's the reality of it.
Everyone harping on it. I'm not denying that it was egregious. Did that timeout or no timeout make a difference? They won by 2 possessions. Did you need that timeout? Did it make a difference? Did he take timeouts to the end of game? Did he make a difference? The answer is no. So while I think that was egregious, and to be honest with you, Cole, I thought he scored the touchdown on the fumble. I really did. I thought the nose of the ball crossed the plane. I did. I thought that. That was my thought. But if they call it a fumble on the field, and you think there needs to be indisputable video evidence beyond all doubt to overturn, was there indisputable video evidence beyond all doubt to overturn? I don't know. Probably not. That's why it ended up the way it ended up. So as someone that was on the call, like, I feel for Auburn. I feel terrible for him. I think the ball didn't bounce their way. But guess what? If Jackson Arnold doesn't fumble and has good ball security and doesn't jump over the pile into a punching hand of a All-American linebacker, we're probably not having this discussion. Worst case scenario, you're live to play 3rd and 1. Am I wrong? Like, I don't know. I'm not into excuse making. I get it. I feel bad for Auburn, but there's a lot of things they could have done better in that game. Like, I don't know, complete a pass in the second half. Not hit Percy Thompson in the ankle with an option route when he's open for a 3rd down conversion. Get off the field. And how about not have targeting penalty and a roughing the passer penalty on the last drive before the half? They give him 30 yards of field position that lead to them kicking a field goal. Like, yes, can the officials take some of the blame? Absolutely. But so can Auburn. And I think that's where you need to focus if you're going to actually flip the script and get this thing back on track. Because that's a good football team, Cole. Like, I really believe that Auburn's a good football team.
Are they a good football team or do they have good players?
I think they have good players. But that's what's harder, having good players or having a good football team. It's a lot harder to get the good players. I'll take the good players. I'll figure out the football team after the fact. If I have not good players, then I don't have a chance to begin with.
It's a fair point, and it's an interesting question. I think most people will probably agree with you. Getting extremely talented players is more difficult. My counter to that would be how many guys that we're seeing from lower levels of football come in, be successful, that you can find a way to go out there and win games when you got guys that know how to play ball. I mean, I've told you. I mean, it works for both ways a little bit, but like Lane Kiffin told us with his receiver room earlier this year, he's like, I just want football players, man. I'm over the 40s and the verticals and this and that, but the guys that he got are actually pretty good. So it doesn't completely work, but it goes to a certain facet of you got guys that conceptually know football, guys that understand your system and your scheme and know how to operate it. We talk about that all the time. Quarterbacks that can operate a system know how to make a play. It's one of the things that Arch Manning did great for Texas this weekend. I thought he just operated the offense. When he needed to throw the ball away, he threw the ball away. When he needed a big completion, he found it. When he needed to tuck the ball and run, he did. He avoided catastrophe. Like those are big parts of it. And just a lot of that not happening for Auburn. I thought they had a great plan in the first half, a great plan. But the defense adjusted. The defense played them even in the second half, and that stuff wasn't going to work because you had elite athletes out there on the edge that all of a sudden weren't exchanging, which means a defensive end going down and an outside linebacker kind of hovering, having to make a play, or vice versa. You took advantage of that early on. They adjusted. The other adjustments didn't come. And as you stated, there were some throws that were there, weren't able to be completed, weren't able to be made, and that's disappointing. But you can't continue to go to excuses week in and week out. You have to find a way to win the game. It's about winning the game. My favorite quote in sports, all time ever, I'll continue to say it, Dana White, don't let it go to the judges because you don't know what's going to happen. And Auburn left a lot of that game in the hands of the officials. Unfortunately, it didn't go their way. But there are ways to avoid that. And they also didn't do that. It's not what a lot of people want to hear. I get it. You want to be mad. You want to yell at officials. You want to say it's their fault. It's fine. I'm not doing it. I don't do it. There's no penalty vulturing on this show. It doesn't happen. I feel like we already did too much of it there. But if you want X's and O's and you want ball, we will do that. And we will talk more of it next right here on Jocks.